The Lord said to Abraham, verse 1, I came to pass after this thing that God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham, I say, here I am. Then he said, take now your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go into the land of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I shall tell you. Abraham did not make excuse. Abraham did not give alternative. Abraham did not make other suggestions. Abraham, in obedience, went on that journey. Abraham went on that journey and was ready to sacrifice his son, his only son, whom he loved. In verse 8, in verse 10, and Abraham stretched out his hands and took the knife to slay his son. Abraham was ready to do anything for God. And that is where God wants us to get to in our walk with Him. Are we ready to do anything for God? Are we ready to attempt anything for God? Abraham was ready. In faith, he was going to cut off the neck of the son. That's obedience. That's obedience. We can never attempt anything great for the Lord if we do not act in obedience. The Lord spoke to Abraham, and the Lord continued to speak to us. He speaks to us in diverse means and diverse ways. Oftentimes we close our mind to what He said, or we just disobey Him or what He has asked us to do. And because we do not attempt greatness for Him, we are unable to expect greatness from Him. We have another wonderful example in Acts chapter 27. Acts chapter 27 is a story about Paul the apostle. Paul the apostle received revelations, received prophecies concerning the danger that was ahead of him if he would attempt to go to Rome to face judgment. But Paul said, no way. In fact, Agabus the prophet had to tie his cloth to the cloth of Apostle Paul to make a practical and pragmatic expression of what will happen to him if he will ever go to Rome. And for Paul said, if it is to die, I will die. In fact, to him he said, to live for Christ and to die is gain. So he determined and he went ahead. And on the way, he experienced tempest. The ship experienced storm, and the ship was wrecked. But in all of this, Apostle Paul never regretted it for a while. He went ahead on the way he got to Rome. And getting to Rome, because he attempted great things for the Lord, he had a very robust ministry, and he was able to enter into another continent of the world with the message of Christ. In Acts chapter 28, the ministry grew wide. The Lord blessed it, and the Lord blessed the work of Apostle Paul. Apostle Paul was doing well where he was. Apostle Paul was still there where he was. Apostle Paul was making some great, successes where he was. But Apostle Paul said, I needed to attempt greater things for the Lord. I challenge you today. Anywhere you are in your journey with God, You need to do better. If the kind of chorus you are singing 50 years ago, that's what you are still singing, then you are not growing at all. There's need to go to a higher height. Higher ground is calling us. The last example I'd like to give, which I must not but give, as an example of great attempt in the service of God, is the greatest example that we have in the ultimate giving of the only begotten Son of God to mankind. God released himself. He gave himself, and he allowed his only begotten Son that came out of him to come into the world. The world of sin, the world of wickedness, the world that been captured by the enemy. He released it. What a great attempt. And Jesus came, and he died. He died a gruesome death. And he died a shameful death. But then, it was a great attempt in order to be able to win the whole world, generations thereafter, back unto God. If God will make such an attempt to save us, after providing everything for us, if God will make such an attempt, then we have sacrifices to offer and make great attempts for God. What are those inspirations that can motivate us to give great attempts, to attempt great things for God? What are the inspirations? I have 3 points here. Number 1, you can never attempt great things for God in whichever sphere of life you want to look at it, unless you understand the ownership of what you have. In fact, the ownership of what you have, the ownership of who you are, until you understand that you own nothing, and that your life is only made rich and meaningful when you surrender the totality of your life to Him. It is only there that you can attempt great things for the Lord. Oftentimes, we hold our lives, we hold our positions, we hold our riches, we hold everything that's up to us, including children, including family, because we think that we are the owner. But when you come to know that you own nothing, then you have an understanding that you must go ahead and release yourself and release your totality in an attempt to serve God. For those of us who have been reading the Bible through, you understand that we entered the book of Ecclesiastes about 4 days ago. Until now, what we have been reading in the book of Ecclesiastes is telling us that everything is vanity. Vanity upon vanity. Let's look at Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 12. Let's see what this is there. In your life and attempt great things for the Lord. Ecclesiastes chapter 2, I read verse 12. In fact, let me read verse 11. He said, then I look on all the works that my hands are done, and on the labor in which I have toiled, and indeed all was vanity and grasping for the wind. There was no profit under the sun. That was a saying, no matter what you think you have achieved, it is a vanity. It's like grasping for the wind. You cannot hold the wind. Say it is vanity. Your toiling, your labor, everything that you think your hand has been able to make, you see, they are all vanity and grasping for the wind. When we have that kind of inspiration, then we should be ready to release ourselves to the service of the Lord to go to the higher ground. Number 2, for you to be able to attempt it for the Lord, almost everything you have, including yourself, you must understand that you are not taking anything from this world. Everything shall be left behind. You will not take anything out. You remember Job in Job chapter 1, verses 20 to 21. Job said, naked I came into the world. Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I shall depart. In other words, I have not seen anyone who carry the whole money, all that he has gathered, all that he has achieved, the certificates, the academic gown, the titles, and carry everything. In fact, if you carry them, you're only going to help the ants to get food on time. But you see, everybody should come to the understanding that you have brought nothing to this world and you will live with nothing. When you understand that you are not taking anything out of this world, you will release yourself in service, release yourself in your gifts, release yourself in your talents, release yourself in all ways possible, wherever you find yourself, and then you'll be able to give all to God. The last thing that you must have aspiration to attempt waiting for the Lord like William carried it is that you must understand that whatsoever you give to God comes back to you in greater measure. Somebody say amen. Everything that we do, it comes back to us. The good that you do today, it comes back to you tomorrow. The services you give today, it comes back tomorrow. Everything you attempt for the Lord is never in vain. That's what 1 Corinthians 57 says. It says your labor is not in vain. Your services are not in vain. When we are carrying left, you are the kingdom to go to India. He never knew that today we'll still be talking about his work, his services, his sacrifices. Abraham got blessed. The blessings of Abraham became global. The blessings of Abraham became immeasurable. Why? Because he attempted waiting for the Lord. Paul made a expansion of the ministry to a new continent. Why? Because he attempted in waiting for the Lord. And we are now studying about the widow of Zarephath, who was able to release what she had, and she got back plenty of food, plenty of life, plenty of wealth, recognition, and plenty of eternal friendship with God. I'd like to conclude this message by asking, in all of your journey in life, as a child of God, what great things have you attempted for the Lord? What great things have you done sacrificially for the Lord? What great things have you done for the Lord? And not just the ordinary, the mere thing that is needed to be done. A member of one of our preaching stations was relocated to her hometown, just last year. And she was living in a mansion, and a very befitting mansion. And as she was going, she talked within herself, all I know in this house. And she gave it to the church and said, I want the pastor to be living in that accommodation, never for the church to pay rentage any longer. And the pastor told me that when she got there, he said, wow, this is far better than where we were staying before. Is it that this woman did not need money? Is it that this woman has more than enough? Is it that this woman did not have family members? I know her But this man said, "Oh, I'm giving it to God." Several of us will not do that. We don't have any reason why you should do that. Even when you want to do that, your spouse will tell you that it's something. Are you okay? Are you the only one in the church? What is there happening to you? I think we should go and have a test for my husband or for my wife. Are you the owner of church? Don't you now know this one will give to us as we relocate? This man gave all to God. That is attempting for the Lord. That's attempting for the Lord. That's highly challenging. That's highly challenging. Some years back, a couple in this church decided to go and sell a portion of their land in a very chosen part of the city. And like Barnabas did in Acts of the Apostles, chapter 4, they poured the whole money, millions of money, and brought it to us and said, use it for mission. What have you attempted for the Lord all of your life? What have you? Are you consistent in attempting great things for the Lord? Let me share my experience with you. It's a laughable one, but I've learned my lesson ever since. Some years back, that should be almost about 50 years ago, I was waiting on the Lord, and it was dry fasting. As I was finishing it, the Spirit of the Lord told me that your salary that you are about to receive, take the whole of it and use it for this work for me. It was a very hard thing. So I was struggling how I would tell my wife that the salary this month, God has taken it. So after much prayers, I was able to tell that the money that is coming, God said I should use it this way. And I said, okay, that's all right. If it is the Lord, He will provide. As the salary came, I utilized it. But you know that a week after, one great man in town was walking in Abuja, but a very good friend of mine was not a member of this Baptist church, not a member of Baptist convention, but a Baptist. The man had so much interest in me, so I don't know how I jammed the man. The man said, come to my house. Come to my house. I want you to come and pray for my new house. So I went to the new house, and it was a massive house, very massive. The man was so excited. I went with my wife, and the man started taking off from one room to another room to his own bedroom, and was asking us to pray everywhere. For a long time, I've never seen a house as beautiful as that. So when we got to the man's bedroom and we finished praying, the man opened the wardrobe and started bringing out many things. Clothes, this one, plenty of them, was not packing, like somebody was possessed, packing everything, and then brought everything to the sitting room. Went back and brought out big money inside, not small envelope, big envelope, and gave to us. We are so excited. Carton of wine, carton of this. So our vehicle was loaded. And as we are going back that day, I said, wow, it's wonderful to play with God. Not even quite 10 days. We have not even started hungry. See all our fun. And we got home. As we got home, we thank God. The Holy Spirit came and said, everything you have got in the morning, give it back to me. I said, I said, no. The Spirit came again.